Hello everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. This is a impromptu stream. Like I said, I kind of just do these whenever I get a chance. It's not going to be a long stream. Just figured I'd say hello and get caught up on a couple things, and we'll see how it goes. Hey Kristen, thanks for being here. There's supposed to be a storm coming like around midnight here, so yes, I can. I don't know what's going on with my microphone again, but I was having issues on DLive with it as well, so I will try to speak closer into the microphone. Let me know if it's better. Every time someone asks if I can do that, I end up just sounding ridiculous because I'm like, can you hear me? Hey, Amanda. Oh, is it really? Yeah, there's been storms a lot of places, but it's monsoon season here still, so last night was crazy. It was like up to 80-mile-an-hour winds, so it's pretty nuts. But yeah, it's supposed to do it again. I don't know if it's supposed to be as crazy, but it's supposed to do it again around 11 or 12. So hey, Sky. It went from 97 degrees to 57 degrees. I just love geoengineering. Yes, me too. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's been very strange weather, to say the least. Not your normal monsoon season that we typically see here. Strange lightning, very strange lightning. And let me know if you guys can hear me better. Again, I'm trying to speak closer to the microphone. Every time I say that, it reminds me of Stuart from Mad TV. Hey, Anthony. I don't know if you guys have seen Stuart on Mad TV, but it's hilarious. I would play it, but I can't on YouTube because you'll get copyright. If I was on DLive, I could. Hey, Mark. Sub of the month 5 months ago. Newly sub on Shan's channel. Better on the sound? Okay, good. I will try to not veer away from the microphone. Hey, Round and Round. Good to see you. So, once again, I don't have any new damning evidence or breaking news, but we will be talking a little bit about, or I will be talking about breaking news that I just recently heard about today in the Watts case. If you have been following me for a while, you will have probably heard me say that at least one time that when these cases start to die down and people start to move on from them, there will always be some sort of new evidence that comes out, or some breaking news, right? But nothing ever comes from it, to keep people interested in the case and distracted. So, and that's happened several times with the Watts case. Hey, Matt. I'm trying to think of a couple of examples. Well, you have the 35C thing, right? Whole debacle that came out right when the case was dying down. You have the video recorded phone calls between the Watts and Chris, allegedly in prison, that was, made a big old deal about right when the case started to die down. You have your, what I call, controlled opposition plant creators that have been here from the beginning, some of your bigger channels, that seem to always get these interviews with the family members or the friends, information that nobody else seems to be able to get, but other people have requested it. For example, the audio calls that a certain channel creator released between the Watts and Chris, that allegedly took place around Thanksgiving of that year, I believe, of 2018, that people did a Quora request and weren't able to get it, but somehow or another, this certain channel creator was able to get them, but nobody else, right? So that's just, a couple instances. Oh, here's another one. The same channel creator also somehow or another got those photographs of Chris and Kessinger at the sand dunes, duplicate ones, but also those selfie pictures of Nicole Kessinger. Like that's what I want to see. That's really going to help me with the case, which they have nothing to do with the case. And if they did, why weren't they released with the discovery in the first place? Why did it take a Quora request from this certain channel creator to get these photos that should have been released from the beginning? Just like the doorbell footage of Shanann coming home, the Vivint footage, why wasn't that footage originally released with the discovery in the first place? Why did it take, I don't know, I think it was HLN that ended up releasing it. So whether or not they Quora requested or FOIA requested it, whatever, it doesn't matter who requested it, but what matters is it didn't come out until much, much later, when, like I said, it should have been released with the discovery in the first place. But that's right when, again, the case started to die down a little bit. It was still really new, but people also began to question whether or not that footage even existed in the first place. And not only that, but people were also speculating whether or not Shanann was drinking alcohol or she was intoxicated when she came home, based off of, I guess, the BAC level stated in the autopsy report. So why did it, again, why was that not released with the discovery in the first place? And let's give me a second. I want to try and see. I forgot about this before I went live, but I want to try to fix the chat here on the screen. I don't know why there's one message that comes up and then that's it, because it's difficult for me to stay close to my microphone and then look over at my laptop or my phone for your messages when it's easier to just see it on the screen in front of me. So give me a second, and please, and if you don't mind, I'll go to Streamlabs and see if I can fix that. So it might be a moment of silence here for a second. Hey Shay, welcome. Oh, and if there is anyone else that is new to my streams or has not, or is not familiar with or had a chance to view my other content, all I ask is that you just have an open mind and hear me out. before, immediately shutting down and discrediting my theory altogether. That's really all I ask, is that people just have an open mind and give me a chance. But this whole one comment on screen and then going away is super annoying. So. Okay, chat. Always show messages. Okay, that's why. There we go. All right, cool. Not sure how that got unchecked, but it did. We'll see if that fixes it. So I brought up the how this breaking news or evidence always comes out. Oh, and of course, how could I forget? You have the whole script thing that came out, and that was a huge deal with everybody, and everybody was taking it as factual, and that it could actually be true. When as I said before, I've come to the realization that 99%, I don't know like the exact percentage, maybe I shouldn't say that, but the majority of what we are told in the true crime community is all based on hearsay. We're literally believing what we're told, whether it be from the discovery, whether it be from the body cam footage, whether it be from what law enforcement told us. Mark, the script, I know, very funny, movie script. That's the same thing I thought of. I was like, script, huh? Interesting. But so whether it be from the discovery, law enforcement, whatever evidence they've claimed to give us, or from the family members, mainstream media, it's all hearsay. Majority of it, we will not be able to vet, and they know that. So I don't care if someone says they talk to the family. It's still hearsay. I don't care if someone says they write to Chris Watts every single day. It's still hearsay. It's still their word and his word, that we're just supposed to believe as factual. Or whether it be Sherilyn Cadle or whoever, it doesn't matter. There's again, the majority of information in these cases, we're not going to be able to ever vet. Nobody was at Nutgate. Nobody was there when the murders happened. Nobody, as far as I know, is an actual investigator on that case. And even then, it would be difficult to convince me of anything. And it's not, again, I'm not saying that I believe everything is fake, but actually, maybe I am. That sounds bad, but pretty much anything that comes from the mainstream media, you should question, in my opinion. And, instead of just believing it right off the bat, do research on it as much as you can, because, you're not going to be able to vet it, everything. But have them prove it to you instead of just believing it. Just so do the opposite, I guess. So, no one was at Nutgate. No one was there when the murders happened. No one works in that prison. And how would they be able to really prove it to me? How would they be able to prove to me beyond a reasonable doubt? They could say that they work at that prison. That's fine. They could say that they could, show me their credentials that they worked at Dodge Correctional, or that they do. And they could tell me that they saw Chris Watts at Dodge Correctional. Does that mean that it's true? No. It's still based off of hearsay. Until I physically see for myself that Chris Watts is sitting in a jail cell, I'm not going to believe it. And even then I might not. Simply because, my point that I was going to make earlier, or just a second ago, was it's not that I think everything is fake. I'm only questioning the ones that don't add up. And the ones where I'm seeing the same inconsistencies and the same red flags that happen in the majority of these orchestrated events, and the ones that are pushing an agenda or agendas. The ones that are very tragic, and they're tragic for a reason, because it pulls at heartstrings. And again, I know I'm going to sound repetitive, and I'm going to keep saying again, but I just don't want you guys to think, oh, Megan says this over and over and over. But it's important, so that's why I do. It's not just because I want to be repetitive and boring. But the stuff that I talk about on my streams and in my videos, it's important. And I will, again, I'm not violent, but I will literally keep doing this until I can beat it into your heads, just like the mainstream media. No, that's not what I want to do. Last thing I want to do is sway anyone's opinions. Again, I'm giving you the information that I've learned over the years from other channel creators and other people that are talking about this and that are awake to these events, and giving you that information. And what you guys want to do with it is on you. That's up to you. I can only do so much without swaying opinions or trying to convince you guys, because that would get us nowhere. That'd be completely the total, against my whole theory about think for yourself and do your own research and don't believe anyone. And I'm not saying that you don't have to believe anyone, but let them earn your trust instead of just believing everything they say, and especially when it's just hearsay. As the title says, hearsay is not facts. And so that's what I want to talk about a little bit right now, is just, I guess the story was out for a while, but this David Carter, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but David Carter, I believe is his name, is supposed to be, hey Chris, is supposed to be allegedly, or claims to have been an inmate with Chris Watts at Dodge Correctional. He's spoken with the Daily Mail, who they are not a reputable news source. They're like a tabloid, just like OK Magazine. About his experience with Chris in prison. He's also been on several channel creators panels speaking about his story. And again, everything that he's telling people is hearsay. But the majority of people will just believe it and say, oh my God, he was in prison with Chris Watts? This is so crazy. Like, please, tell me more. No, don't tell me more. I don't want to hear any of this stories about your whatever. It doesn't have anything to do with the case. Two, it's all hearsay. But why do people just believe everything that they're told? Especially people in the true crime community who claim that they, are these armchair detectives and base everything on facts and evidence. But that's not what I'm seeing. That's not what I'm seeing in the true crime community. I'm seeing people just believing everything that they're told. And I'm trying to how that works. So we're already familiar with David Carter and his whole whatever with Chris. Well, now apparently right around, of course, the 3-year anniversary of this case, and right when the case starts to die down, especially with the Summer Wells case, this new breaking evidence, right, or information comes out of David Carter releasing this audio footage, apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, the audio footage of him speaking with law enforcement on the phone Okay, I'm sorry, not sure what happened, but my computer just glitched. Hey, Michelle. Good to see you. Hey, Cynical Sam. Is it buffering? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. It says excellent condition, but so apparently of him talking to law enforcement and explaining to law enforcement over the phone that Christopher Watts, I don't know why I said it like that, that Chris Watts told him in prison that Nicole Kessinger killed Shanann and the girls. So he confessed to him in prison, pretty much. And you know how like damaging this is going to be? Because people are just going to believe it. It's going to get, the majority of people will just believe it. It's going to get, hopefully the buffering's gone. It's going to get people interested in the case again, because it was dying down. It's going to give people false hope, thinking that something's going to, that the justice is going to prevail and Nicole Kessinger is going to spend the rest of her life behind bars based off of complete hearsay. I'm like, just really, like, I don't know how other way to explain it other than just saying it's hearsay. It doesn't make it factual. And what also boggles my mind is that a lot of these channel creators who are playing this audio footage are channel creators who claim that they base all of their research off of facts. Oh, we only look at evidence in the case. We only look at the facts of the case. So that doesn't really make sense to me if they're posting this, audio footage or playing it on their channel when it's based off hearsay. That's not evidence. That's not facts. You see what I'm saying? It's contradicting everything that they say. And they say, some say, we don't know if it's true or not, to save face, so they don't get attacked for saying that they were putting out false information or disinformation. So they say, hey, you know what? Don't, we're just the messenger, right? Don't shoot the messenger. We're not necessarily saying this is true, but it might be, right? Again, hearsay is not facts. It's not evidence. Whatever this guy who's claiming to be Chris's fellow ex-inmate. And look at the timing. Look at the timing, again, of when this was released. Right when the case starts to die down, like I said, some ridiculous breaking news information comes out and nothing ever comes from it. But you go in any of these chats that are playing from these streamers or channel creators that are playing this audio from this David Carter dude, are like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Like, and I'm not trying to make fun at all. I'm not. So please don't think that. But I have to be, I'm not going to sugarcoat things anymore. Because it's to the point where it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. One, Christopher Watts, whether he be a liar in real life or he's an actor that's a liar or both, you can't believe anything that comes out of that guy's mouth. So even if, let's say that this David Carter dude was telling the truth, right? He's still getting his information from a pathological liar based off the narrative. So why would anybody believe it? Why would anybody just believe it? It makes no sense to me. Hey, Douglas. And a lot of these channel creators will also, I don't know how many, how long now, or how many times I've heard them say, "Oh, law enforcement's corrupt. They've been lying about everything in this case. You know, I don't believe anything that law enforcement says." But yet they will make video after video, live stream after live stream, saying that they're basing all their information on facts from the evidence in the discovery. Again, that makes no sense to me. If they've lied about many other things and there's many discrepancies in that discovery, why would you consider or claim anything in that discovery as factual? And I don't know. I mean, I would I just feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone every single day, whether it be in the true crime community, whether it be outside the true crime community. People just amaze me sometimes. I mean, there's several channel creators that have said that footage that I've been saying, not to toot my own horn, but that I've been saying has been altered, that it was fabricated, that it's a total production for over 2 years now, mind you. And they're just now coming to the realization that a lot of this stuff, a lot of the things in this case are fabricated, that they're staged. But then when I say that the entire thing's staged, it's like, oh my God, you're a horrible person. How dare you? There's no way that they could have staged this entire thing. If they could stage one thing, like Nate's footage or Shanann coming home, then what makes you think they're not capable of staging this entire case? It's really not that difficult. I don't know what difficult is. It's really not that difficult if you think about it. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of information released. There's not a ton, like a typical quadruple homicide case where it would be probably over 20,000 pages. Or a hell of a lot more than 1,960 pages. And most of that is filler. And again, I counted over 236 pages of letters from women that wrote to Chris in prison after the fact, after the case was closed. What in the hell do any of those letters that those women wrote to Chris have to do with the investigation itself? It doesn't. It has nothing to do with it whatsoever. But they use it as filler, and they use it to pull at heartstrings, and they knew that people would get pissed off and say, oh my God, that's disgusting. Like, what kind of woman would write this person or this monster that annihilated his entire family? Again, it doesn't have anything to do with it, but it's filler, and it gets at people's emotions. Hey, Christine. Hey, Pride or Honesty. I'm not yelling, I promise. Well, I might be a little loud, but I'm trying to speak clearly into the microphone because I guess a few of you were saying that, I hate when I say people. I don't like to call you guys people. Nor will I call you fans, like certain channel creators. But that I was having mic issues. So, I promise I'm not yelling at you guys. I try to stay neutral, but it is difficult, especially going on 3 years now. And it's frustrating to say the least. I just really don't know how much more information or more evidence I can provide to support my theory on this case. Day after day after day, I hear people say this case does not make sense. Nothing adds up. Why? Why can't I've heard many people say I can't sleep at night because of this case. Why does this case keep pulling me in? Why can't I get over it? Why is this case affecting me? Not me, but I'm just speaking for, what others have said. Why is it affecting me so much? That's because that's the whole psychological bullshit of it. I used to say aspect, but I'm not going to reword everything anymore. I'm just not. I don't care. I'm going to be straight to the point and blunt from now on. Hey, Marigold. It's all psychological, hence the term psyop. And again, if everybody or the majority of people knew that they were being duped and that it was indeed a psyop, then it would not be a very good psyop or a successful one, for that matter. But I'm trying my darndest, that's a word, my darndest, to show people that. And usually I wouldn't say this, because normally if someone does say it, I don't have anything to gain from this by doing this. What would I have to gain from this? I really don't have anything to gain from doing this. I'm not monetized. I've never been monetized. I don't have a Patreon. I'm not saying you need to come into my Patreon because I can't, because of the algorithms. So I can't say what I want to say. So why don't you pay $5 a month to come hear what I have to say, even though I'm claiming to want to get the truth out about this case? I don't, again, have anything to gain from this. I am literally, I've spent so much time on this case because I am passionate about it. And there's nobody, as far as I know, out there that has spent this much time on it. There's some people that have mentioned the fact that it is a psyop and that it is fake. But I have, dove into that discovery just as much, if not more, than anybody else has. I didn't just see this case and say, hey, it's a psyop. It did take me, even myself, it took me a little bit of time to realize what was going on. And that's, again, because I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't looking for it. Not that you have to look for it, but with your other orchestrated events that happen all the time, and especially since I was new to the true crime community, I didn't even know there was a true crime community until I found out about the Watts case. So it did take me a little bit of time to start seeing those red flags and inconsistencies that I've been talking about and telling you guys about over and over and over and over again. And I'm gonna just keep putting those on the screen instead of the chat or something from now on, because I need you guys to remember those. Whether it takes you writing them down, whether you have a photographic Rain Man memory like Chris Watts. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you write it on the back of your hand, but just remember them. And they're not, as I said before, they're not going to be all the same. So just because you see one of those red flags, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a psyop or that it's fake or that it's orchestrated. But once you start to see multiple, that's when you need to literally find a way to push your emotions aside if you can, take a step back and look at what's really going on. And don't believe everything that you're told. And ask yourself, why is it that these high-profile missing person cases and homicide cases, the ones that get so much mainstream media attention, why are these the ones where so many things don't add up? And why is there so much social media involvement from the victims' families? Because there's not a lot of people that are, as far as I know, talking about the Watts case or the Summer Wells case or any of these cases outside of the true crime community. The majority of people that aren't in the true crime community, they're going to hear it on the mainstream media and they're just going to believe it. And subconsciously, it's going to affect them in one way or another. Whether they ever talk about it again, it's still going to be implanted in their minds. But for the most part, these high-profile true crime cases are only limited and so popular in social media or on social media. Why is that? And a lot of these mainstream media outlets will cover these cases and beat the narrative into our heads. But then once that's done, once their job is done, that's it. It's all left to social media. Just like the mainstream media wasn't covering the 35C thing. Why isn't the mainstream media filing FOIA requests and CORA requests to get this information that everybody or the majority of people in the true crime community are seeing? Like these red flags, these inconsistencies. Mainstream media is the one that will be able to get those FOIA requests and CORA requests, much easier than we would. Hey, Moonlight. So why aren't they? Why isn't the mainstream media noticing these red flags? So just the majority of people in the true crime community are all just idiots and don't know what the hell they're talking about? The reason why so much information in this case was released, it's because it was done on purpose. That's why people can't seem to get away from this case. That's why people are so infatuated with this case. And these other mainstream media, high-profile true crime cases, like the Summer Wells. And maybe with the Summer Wells case, it's a different agenda. Maybe that's why they didn't release, she's only just missing. So they don't have it like a whole discovery to release to the public to pull people in. But I can still see what's going on with that case. There's a lot of social media involvement with these parents. And not only that, but there's so many channel creators that are so focused on this one child. When I made that tribute video the other day, there's so many missing children out there, and what makes Summer Wells more important than any other child that's missing? Because she got so much mainstream media attention? What makes Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico, if it were real, what makes their lives any more important than the 300-something women that were murdered and 280-something, women alone in Texas in 2018? Who's keeping their memories alive? Who's talking about them? Nobody. Because they weren't in the mainstream media. They weren't in the limelight. So there's a reason why certain cases get so much attention. And again, I'm sorry, I'm not yelling. I'm just trying to speak clear and into the microphone. But I feel like I'm in a lose-lose. I spent literally over at least 2 years being respectful and thinking about people that may have been affected, or that might have been affected by this case emotionally, because I've seen it. And I know how these psyops can affect people. Because it's done that way on purpose. It's the pull at heartstrings, and that's why they're so tragic. So I did. And if you've been following me for a while, you will know that I have been, or tried to have been, nothing but respectful. And even to the Ruseks and the Watts. But that was even before. I mean, I knew their roles, but that was before I actually really knew the agenda that they were pushing. And I'm not buying it. I'm not buying their whole victim card thing from either family. Hey, Nuckin. I know this was an impromptu, so. But I'm like, I am so outnumbered when it comes to, I'm the only one. I'm the only creator in the true crime community. There's other creators that are talking about these orchestrated events in other areas, like the school shootings and the terrorist attacks and Capitol riots, whatever, right? There's many other people that are out there that are talking about it and getting the truth out there about them and trying to wake people up. But as far as I know, I'm the only one who is trying to do it in the true crime community, and I'm very again, outnumbered. Like, I can't do this on my own. I really can't. I have nobody backing me up. I don't have other channel creators backing me up, because the majority of them want to milk this case. Even if they agreed or could see this case for what it really was, do you honestly think that they're going to say, hey, yeah, Megan J., you're right? Or think for yourself. I just doxed myself. No, you guys know who I am. Do you really think that they're going to say that they're going to come out and agree with me when this case is still bringing in money? Of course they're not. They're going to milk this case for everything, it's got. And hence all this information from the Daily Mail that's been released. It's like, please, like, why are you believing this nonsense? Why? But what I was saying earlier, and I got off track, was I've tried to be respectful, and that got me nowhere. It's only wasting my time, and it's only wasting your time. Especially when I have to walk on eggshells all the time, reword everything, watch the algorithms, or watch what I say so it doesn't trigger the algorithms. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. But any of these other channel creators can go and they can, and I'm not pointing out any specifically, but they can say that NK killed everybody, and with no evidence to back that up. There's no evidence. Sure, she lied. Sure, she had no empathy. But again, they're basing this information, their facts that they call it, on a discovery riddled with inconsistencies. I mean, literally, that's what they're doing. They're basing their facts off a discovery full of inconsistencies and discrepancies. But they're so biased towards the case, whether they want Chris to be guilty, whether they think he's innocent, whether they think NK's guilty, whether they think Troy McCoy is guilty, whether they think that there's 5 accomplices that are guilty. They have such a biased opinion that they're going to have nothing but tunnel vision. You're going to miss a lot of facts, and you're going to be able to see what's really going on with this case. Hey, Tennyson. Yeah, I'm sure, Anthony. I'm sure she's dealt with a lot. And she's blunt. She doesn't care. She says it like it is. I've been a little bit more forward, but then again, it's because like I said, it's not getting us anywhere. Me worrying about hurting other people's feelings. I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, offend some people. And I know that I sometimes, say, hey, it sucks because my channel's so small. I wish I had at least, 100 people in my chat so that I can get this information out there quicker. Because again, I'm doing this like pretty much on my own. But then it's also a good thing that my channel is somewhat small because I'm not getting that backlash. And I don't even know, to be honest with you, if I could handle it. Just a little bit of backlash that I've already received from voicing my opinion, I'm not gonna lie, it did affect me. But I'm still here. I'm still doing live streams, so they can kick rocks. It's okay, Nuckin. I know. I just do these when I'm in the mood, I guess. I don't know. So I know it's kind of late, but people, from what I can see, people don't want to hear what I have to say. They want to hear about what David Carter has to say, or what these other bigger channel creators have to say, because they're convincing, or they're manipulative, or they tell you what you want to hear, that NK is going to be brought to justice and she's going to pay for what she did, even though there's no evidence to prove otherwise. Again, I'm not sticking up for NK, or I don't even like to say NK, Nicole Kessinger. I'm not going to say this stupid nickname. I don't care for Nicole Kessinger for other reasons. Not because I want her to get justice. I don't care for her because I know that she played a role and a huge part, in lying to millions of people. Like, if anyone are victims, not to be dramatic, but if anyone's a victim here, it's us, the public. We have been deceived. We have been lied to. We have been duped. Good night, Nuckin. Sleep well. People don't want to hear me tell them that they've been duped. Nobody wants to know that they've been duped. Nobody, and especially on such a massive scale, nobody wants to know they've been duped, and the majority of people don't want to admit that they've been duped. But I'm not here to tell people what they want to hear. I'm really not. And when I get serious, I even speak funny. Well, not. But seriously, I'm not here to tell you guys what you want to hear, unfortunately. And if that's an issue, then I understand. Cognitive dissonance plays a huge role in these psychological operations. Because that would mean a lot of people would have to come to the realization that they have believed one thing for 3 years now. So their whole beliefs would have to go against everything that they believed for 3 years. No one wants to know that, or the majority of people, I don't like to say no one, but the majority of people are not going to want to know that they've dedicated 3 years of their life, most of them, the ones that aren't the plants and controlled oppositions, that they've dedicated their life to, or their 3 years, not their life, but a lot of them have. A lot of people, like I said earlier, have their personal lives have literally been affected by this case, which is crazy to me. Why would anybody let a case, you don't even know these people? Yes, is it sad? Is murder a terrible, horrible thing? Of course it is. but it's life. It really is. So why would you let one case affect your life, your personal life, so much to where you can't even sleep at night, to where you can't even function, to where you no longer trust your husband now or your significant other? Hey, Victoria. Hey, Crystal. Why would anybody let just one case have so much effect on them? And if I tell them that everything that they've been told for 3 years is a lie, not just a cover-up, the entire thing is a fabrication. That I'm sorry to say, but their precious Shanann might not be so precious that they thought. And I have multiple reasons as to why I don't think that it was a sacrifice. There's multiple reasons as to why I believe that they're still alive. So I'm not just pulling that out of my ass. Because yes, sometimes in these orchestrated events, people do die. Innocent people. Take 9/11, for example, okay? So I'm not saying that, but I have a reason for my madness, which I'm not going to get into because I've already gone over that several times. But I just want to let you guys know that I do have multiple reasons as to why I've come to that conclusion and why I am confident in saying that. Hey, Lily. And when they hear me say that and they say, hey, what if this whole thing was orchestrated, and what if these victims are still alive? What if the Shanann and the girls are still alive? What if? Just hypothetically, I'll throw it out there. And people will get so offended. They will say, how dare you? How dare you? That's disrespectful to the Ruseks and the Watts. That's disrespectful? How about the other channel creators who are claiming that Chris Watts is innocent? Chris Watts didn't kill anybody. But that's not disrespectful to the parents, to the other family members, to the Watts, to the Ruseks. I'm saying that Chris Watts didn't kill anybody either, but I'm getting flack for it because my theory is different. People are saying that Chris Watts is innocent because there's accomplices, because he couldn't possibly have done this whole thing because he's a doofus, which they're correct. He's a 100% a doofus. And there's so many inconsistencies that show that he may have not, that he might, how am I going to say this? I'm going to say like a double negative here, and I'm going to want to go rewind. There's evidence that shows that he may not have killed anyone. Yes. So it's okay for them to say that Chris Watts didn't kill anyone and that it's a cover-up and that law enforcement is totally incompetent and is either covering for Nicole Kessinger or her father. Or I've literally heard every single theory in the book. I mean, I thought that, hey Spacebound, I thought that the Chris Watts narrative was made for television or movies, but there's some theories out there that I've seen in chats that blow my mind. I mean, I don't even know where they come up with this stuff. And that's true, Victoria. Yeah. Which is another red flag. If they have any prior acting experience in these cases, that's something else to look out for. Shanna Ann, her teacher, her music teacher or acting teacher, whatever he was, Shanna Ann, and then he tries to correct himself. Anyway, I'm not even going to get into that, but that is terrible, just acting, in my opinion. But they always have to have that one person that goes on all the media, the mainstream media outlets like CNN and Fox News, and it's always going to be someone who was close to them when they were younger, and they always share this heartfelt story about the victim, and it really pulls at heartstrings. And they always seem to have, again, this emotional story, and that was how Shanann wanted to do big things in her life, right? Enter sad violin music, really pulling at those heartstrings. But the majority of people will believe it without ever thinking twice or asking questions. And I've heard people say there's no way that nobody would speak up, right? There's too many people involved. But not everybody has to be in the know. The less, the better, and they know that. You will have your main characters that are involved, but you'll also have what they like to call, there's different victims. So you have your willing and, what is it? I got a strike for talking about this on my live stream. Simply going over the anatomy of one of these events. So if anybody says, "Oh, Megan, don't be dramatic. You're not walking on eggshells. Just say what you have to say." Well, sorry to tell you, but I'm gonna have to be careful about what I say, even though I haven't been. You have your willing and knowing victims. Your willing, unknowing. There's two other ones, and I won't get into those right now, but you're going to have your main characters, and not everyone has to be in the know. And how difficult, let's think about this for a second. How difficult would it be? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were a real family. I wouldn't be surprised if these two families are indeed real families. It wouldn't be difficult to find two families that would be willing to participate for whatever reason, whatever they get out of it. You know that they're going to get something significant from it, from, being a part of it and agreeing to it. It wouldn't be difficult to get two families to be in on it. So I'm not saying that they're not real families, I guess. That to be honest, that it's not even relevant, right? Because people say, well, what are you saying? That they're not real families? That where's Shanann if she's alive? That's really not relevant to my theory. That if I knew where she was, I probably wouldn't be here 3 years later trying to show people the truth, or show you guys. I hate when I say people. But it's really showing that she could possibly be alive and that it's orchestrated, right? So back to my point, there is a lot of information, like with Shanann's Facebook, right? How difficult would it be, let's say that they are a real family, how difficult would it be for Chris and Shanann to simply be a family? All Shanann would have to do is post every single day on Facebook, sell her Thrive. So she's pushing the operation by making all these Thrive videos on Facebook. She's also making money on selling Thrive and helping Thrive and Lavelle get free publicity. And it only goes back so far, right? We don't know anything about her ex-husband hardly. And again, it's based on all hearsay. Only what the discoveries told us and what the families told us. And law enforcement. Can't forget the mainstream media. It's just a given. all they would have to do is act like a real family. Show her being a little bossy to Chris here and there, and talk about how great of a husband he was, and how he let her, he went to her colonoscopy, and how he had to go to the bathroom, but she laid on his lap for like 4 hours, and just really build this guy up, right? Really build Chris up in her videos. Throw the girls in there in a lot of the videos to really pull at those heartstrings, to get so that, and leave Shanann's Facebook account open for, it's still open, it's still made public right now, for 3 years now. Leave her Facebook available to the public so that people would go and watch all her videos. And, you know, Shanann is a beautiful woman. She has a great smile. She's inviting. She was a perfect pick. Okay? She really did pull people in, and is still doing it to this day. And then that's why there's so many people that say, I feel like I know Shanann. I feel like she's a part of the family, even though they've never met her or the girls. But by watching all her videos on Facebook, people really feel that way. They really do. I'll just give me 1 second. I'll be right back, you guys. Sorry. Sorry, my kitty wants to go outside, and he just stares at me, and I go, come on. And they're not, cats aren't like dogs. They just will stare at you, and they don't, he goes on his own time. Or they'll take their sweet ass time. But I don't know what he's doing. Anyways, so it wouldn't be difficult leading up to August 13th, right? For them to just post some Facebook. Do what she does every single day as a Thrive promoter and as a wife and a normal person. Throw in, like I said, some, little psychological BS involved with it. You know that there's that one video, there's several, but there's that one that people, just viral, where she talks about how amazing Chris is and how amazing of a husband he is. Again, and to really build him up so that when people find out about these murders, they just loathe Chris. They hate him, right? And that plays into the whole, how could someone like Chris Watts do this when Shanann and everybody else had nothing but great things to say about the guy? Where he doesn't fit the profile of a family annihilator, right? And how difficult would it be, that discovery, that pathetic excuse of a discovery that they provided us with, how difficult would it be for them to write that thing up ahead of time, compensate for, her delayed flight because of the weather? That's going to happen in orchestrated events. There's going to be natural inconsistencies that happen, I guess. I don't know if that's the right term. But stuff's going to get messed up. No psychological operation is perfect. And they'll have to, as time goes on, they will have to adjust accordingly. Which, in my opinion, is probably one of the reasons why people started to notice that Chris wouldn't have enough time to do everything that he did, or that the narrative is claiming he supposedly did. Because of Shanann's flight being delayed due to weather in Arizona, which I can confirm. Still hearsay. But I know for a fact that there was bad weather that day because I was outside photographing lightning. So I can confirm that. Now, does it mean that she was really in Arizona? No. Does it mean that she was really on that Southwest flight from Phoenix to Denver? No. That just means that they told us she was on that flight. And even if it wasn't, the narrative would already be, in effect before if any of it happened, right? But just like Shanann would just simply be a wife and do what they do, and Chris and do what they do every day, because they only show us a certain amount, right? They only show us what they want us to see. So how do we know that they didn't just, these police officers and law enforcement, do what they did every day, or every time there's a homicide case, and interview Shanann, interview people involved, whatever. Or the officer that went and handed out flyers. He doesn't have to be in the know. He could be simply doing what he's told, because that's his job. But you will have your main players that are affecting the outcome of the narrative. I don't even know if that makes sense. I don't know why. I don't even know why I stream, because I feel like what I say in my head, it makes sense, but trying to say it sometimes, or a lot actually, it doesn't come out the way I would like it to. But I mean, for the most part, hopefully you guys get what I'm saying. But for whatever reason, so many people have said to me, there's no way. There's just too much information that it could be fabricated. But they don't think outside the box. They just think that, but I just heard recently that, because how long, if you guys have been following me, you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I've been saying that there's no proof that anybody is in those coffins. There is no proof. I just heard someone say the other day in a chat that there's no evidence to prove that anyone died, like I've been saying, and that there might not be anybody in those coffins, but it's due to the fact that they were trafficked, like human trafficking. Why is that any more believable than me saying that there's no one in those coffins, because this whole thing is a figment of everyone's imagination. It's a show put on the world stage, and we all got front row seats, you guys. I mean, a lot of these channel creators and a lot of the people in the true crime community are literally just everything that they're saying just supports my theory in itself. Nothing adds up. Why isn't Nicole Kessinger been investigated? Why did they release the crime scene after like 2 days? Why did Chris not get a lawyer? Why did he agree to a polygraph test? Why did he agree to the search in the house? Why was there so much evidence tainted? I mean, on and on and on and on and on. I could go on forever. They keep asking why, and I'm telling you why. I'm the only one, as far as I know, that's giving reasons or trying to make sense to all these questions that the majority of people in the true crime community have. They keep asking the same questions over and over and over again. They keep delving into the discovery over and over and over again. They might find something that they missed before. But again, they're basing all their facts out of the discovery and then turning around and saying that they don't believe anything law enforcement or Rourke says. That makes no sense. And if they've lied about one thing, then what else could they possibly be capable of lying about? If they would take the time to, listen to what I'm saying without discrediting me and getting so offended and letting their emotions get in the way and take the information that I'm giving them and do their own research, they might have a different outlook on this case. But as long as they are letting their emotions get in the way, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to see the truth of this case. I'm not here 3 years later because I'm still trying to figure out what happened. I'm here 3 years later because it's important to me to get the truth out there. And hopefully wake people up. And if not, at least try to get people to ask questions and don't believe everything that you're told or that they're told. And especially people in the true crime community who say that they're all about evidence. What is really evidence? What is evidence? Evidence that law enforcement has been nice enough to release to us, but yet there's so many inconsistencies and nothing adds up. I mean, literally, and I am trying to be respectful still. I'm just. I don't even have words. And I'm thank you, Lily. I'm sure that some of you have noticed that I've been a little bit snappy in live streams, but I'm so tired of being censored. I have to worry about YouTube and other platforms censoring me all the time, and now I'm being censored by my fellow true crime community enthusiasts because I'm a channel creator. So I have to set an example. No, I see day after day after day viewers in chats accuse people of murder or say that Chris Watson didn't kill anyone. And they don't say in my opinion afterwards. So why do I have to say in my opinion? And I don't think I have to because in my opinion, I've showed enough evidence or provided evidence to support my theory that this case is not real. I don't care what family members say. I don't care how much they cry and bitch and moan and grab their face in a courtroom and their face turns red. I really don't care. But again, the majority of people do not want to hear what I have to say, unfortunately. They want to hear, a lot of the channel creators tell their viewers what they want to hear. So they're going to tell you that, is this what I need to do to get views? Do I need to tell people that Nicole Kessinger is going to be brought to justice because she committed murder? Or that there's an open investigation even though there's no evidence of that? Well, I'm not going to do it. I don't care how many views it brings in. I'm not going to cover the tabloid story about David Carter or Christie, the psychologist that seems to have love affairs or infatuations with inmates that are murderers that just so happens to appear on Lifetime. A channel for dedicated to women. I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear. And I'm not saying that all of these other channel creators are doing it for nefarious reasons. I'm sure there's a lot, or there's some, hopefully left, that are doing it because they really want justice. But it seems like no matter where I go, when I was being respectful, I wasn't getting anywhere. And now that I'm being more transparent and I'm speaking my mind, I'm being censored everywhere I go. And it's frustrating. And I'm only human. So forgive me if I happen to blow my lid, one time in a chat and actually stick up for myself. I'm the terrible person, right? I might be a cartoon figure based off of my thumbnail, but I am human, believe it or not. So if anybody tries to say that I have motives or ulterior motives, or that I'm doing this for money or for views, take a look at my algorithms. Take a look at my subscriber count. Okay? I've been doing this for almost 3 years now, and my sub count has barely even gone up at all. And I've gone into chat room to chat room to chat room and make myself known without, promoting my channel. That's the only thing that I could do to get my channel name out there and voice my opinions. Because for whatever reason, I'm not getting the views. I'm not getting the subscriber count. Okay, Michelle. I'm not seeing anything in my... What am I supposed to see? Thank you, Victoria. I appreciate that. And I do appreciate all of you who are here whenever you can be. I do. And when I do get, discouraged, whenever I get a nice uplifting comment from one of you guys, it pulls me out of that funk for sure. So thank you for that. But it does get frustrating. It does get discouraging. And, as you guys know, I'm not the best with words. But I'm also glad that I'm not, because I don't want to, as I said before, because that would totally go against my whole motto. So I do try to stay neutral, but it is difficult sometimes, because again, I am human. I'm a human cartoon. And cartoons have feelings too. I don't know if I lost connection. It just said that I did, but hopefully I didn't. A request? I know I looked, but try. Do you have the right number for me? 77243? Michelle? I don't know, maybe I wrote down the wrong one in your chat the other night. Oh, and before I forget, before I end this, if you're not subscribed to Michelle, if you want to leave your link again in the chat, please do. Michelle does live streams covering, the bug going around, propaganda, these orchestrated events, the Las Vegas shooting, and several other things. She does really great live streams. So if you get a moment, please check out her channel. And if you like her content, please subscribe. You're right, Lily. It wasn't there have been some channel creators that have been censoring me as well. But yes, recently they actually, I take that back. No, there is several channel creators that have. I don't know what specifically you're referring to, Lily, but and I love your name, by the way, because I love stargazer lilies. They're my favorite flowers. So they are my favorite. I'll take those over roses like any day. And I don't really like flowers all that much because they just die, and I feel like they're kind of a waste of money. But the stargazer lilies, they last so much longer than roses. They smell much better, in my opinion, and I think that they're just better looking all around. So anyways, not like hinting for anybody to like buy me flowers, but I just thought of that again when I saw your name. Every time I see your name, I think of that. Yeah, so think for yourself, and then 7243. Really, Victoria? That's good. And you can't like the oriental lilies. They're beautiful as well, and they do smell great. But the stargazer lilies, those are the ones that they smell amazing, and they literally make the entire room smell. They're just so. And you can buy them when they're still closed. They're not as pretty, of course, right away, but they will last longer, and they'll obviously open eventually. So. But yeah, my favorite. Let me. Okay, there's my D Live. Say my Discord handle. So if anybody has Discord and you're interested in getting a hold of me or have any questions, there's my my Discord handle. I don't know what it's called. I will put my D-Live link in the chat as well again, in case you guys aren't following me on D-Live. But on D-Live, I'm more censored, and I will try to do these live streams when, earlier and not so late at night, and see if that helps. But I'm usually streaming I didn't stream today, but I do take days off here and there. But for the most part, I stream every day on D-Live, so that's why I'm not usually streaming on YouTube, or I don't do my streams on YouTube during that time of day, in the middle of the day anyways. Because by the time I'm done streaming on D-Live, I already have other stuff to do. But I will maybe take a day off from D-Live and try to do an earlier stream. But I've been watching, lurking and watching live streams and writing down some bullet points, that I'm going to maybe, I don't know, I'll just talk about them, or I'll do a PowerPoint on them to give some sort of visual. It would just be text, but that way I have some content and some itinerary, anyways, for you guys, and so that I'm not just rambling. But I did do this live stream because of the whole Hearsay thing with the David Carter and how people are, just believing it. So I wanted to, come on here and talk about that. So okay, I got it, Michelle. Did I give you the wrong? No, I must have gave you the wrong number last time. I'm sorry. So before I go, I should have mentioned this earlier, but if anybody has any questions, I know the majority of you in chat are pretty much, for the most part, awake or woke, as some people like to say. But if there is any questions, or there's something that I haven't been, certain things that I haven't been clear about, let me know, and I'll try to answer those for you before I go. Sorry, I can't multitask. Okay, I pinned the my D Live channel link at the top of the chat. So I'll just wait a minute and see if you guys have any questions, because the last thing I want to do is be confusing, or not make sense to you guys. So where could Shanann be? I have no idea. I wish I knew, but as I mentioned earlier, Victoria, that's not the most important thing as far as my theory goes. It's not where she is that it's important. It's, why she could be alive, if that makes sense. Tomorrow I usually stream between 12, usually between, actually, I'm not going to say that, between 1 and 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I it's so random. Yesterday, I played, I just played random videos. Completely random videos, because we can do that on D-Live. We can't do it on YouTube, because you'll get copyright strikes. But I will play videos from Ole Damengard, ODD TV, other channel creators who are speaking out against the bug, or the virus that's been going around, other psyops, other orchestrated events, symbolism, predictive programming. It's completely random, and there's no clickbait in the title. I usually, for the most part, say what the title is, unless I'm trying to trick the algorithms, even on D-Live. So even if you show up and you say, "Hey Megan, let's talk Watts," I have no problem doing that. But usually I don't really get anybody from YouTube that says that. So, but there's things and videos that I can play on D-Live to show you guys that I'm not the only one speaking out about these. And I did play Sinead's podcast on my last live stream. I got ballsy and decided to play it. And Anthony in chat, if he's still here, he's the one that pointed out to Sinead that the Chris Watts case was a hoax. So it just, I didn't believe him at first when he said, "Hey, that's me. I'm Anthony." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure, Anthony." Just because your name's Anthony doesn't mean that, it's a common name. But no, believe it or not, it was the same Anthony, which is kind of crazy. But, so, podcasts like Sinead speaking out about the Chris Watts case, and she's been censored from Facebook and YouTube, so that's why she has her own podcast now. And she can say things, bluntly, and or more blunt, I should say, and voice her opinion without having to worry about walking on eggshells. So it just all depends. I might play music videos where people can make requests. I mean, literally, it's random all the time on DLive. So okay, Michelle, awesome. I will be there if I can, of course. You like to go live at my time, at my dinner time, like several other channel creators. But Sinead is a radio host, I guess. Is that Anthony? Is that what you would? She has her own podcast. She speaks out about government corruption, and check out my last live stream, and then that way you'll know who I'm talking about. But I did take some risks playing her. She's not on. Here, I'll put her link in the chat. Or actually, Anthony, if you're still here, right? Did Sinead have a different website compared to the Renegade Broadcasting, or is she just solely on Renegade Broadcasting? If you could post her link for me, Anthony, that'd be great. That way I don't have to multitask. So I just made you a moderator so you can post the link. Yeah, I know. And I totally agree, Anthony. It is an echo chamber. That's why I said earlier, I'm outnumbered. I'm the only one that's talking about this. So I'm an outcast pretty much. So I need as much help as I can get to get my voice out there, especially when I can't even voice my opinion in the true crime community anymore, hardly. So I could go and I could talk about this and everything that I found with this case and my findings in conspiracy forums or on other channels that, and that's why I don't talk about the Watts case a lot on DLive, because the majority of my viewers and followers on DLive, they're already, for the most part, they already know what's up. They already know what's going on. A lot of them came from High Impact Flicks, who is a channel creator that I have been following for a while. And so they're already aware of the government corruption and the deception. So that's why I'm solely saying in the true crime community, as difficult as it is, I'm doing my best. Unfortunately, I don't know what else to do, but keep doing these live streams. Okay, okay, thank you, Anthony. Anthony put Sinead's link in the chat, and I did as well. So that's all I really have for today, kids. I went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but you know how it goes. So thank you everyone for being here. I know that I say this every time, but I really, really do appreciate your support. Again, and just for being here. And thank you to my moderators. I think I had one, Michelle, which is, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm not very good with this like shout out thing, but hopefully for the most part you guys get what I'm saying. So yeah, thank you again, and